Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast, a podcast where I give you tips on how you can enhance your spoken English. My name is Pat. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I've got, at the moment, 6 people listening to me on Instagram Live. This is my first live episode, so you can know this episode is indeed filmed before a live studio audience. Isn't that quite a treat? There's no laugh tracks, nothing like that needed. I've got people laughing at me at home plenty. So, today's episode, we are going to dive right into the American R sound. The American R sound. You see, I want to kick today's episode off by getting right into some deep waters of the American accent with the American R sound. The reason why I say deep waters of the American accent is because the R sound requires the most difficult muscle memory movements. It requires that you move your entire mouth when you pronounce it, as a matter of fact. And it is not something that develops very quickly. It actually takes months of practice. I typically, actually, when I have students, the R is where people give up most commonly. When I bring up the R, people say to themselves, okay, I could take on the R sound, it's nothing. We go over the R for a week, and they say, oh, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. But then 2 weeks later, they're still making the R. Do you make a R sound? A lot of people go R. A lot of people also go H with their R's, in the back of the throat. Well, both of those things are, they could be clear that there are sounds, but at the same time, we want to control what you're doing, and if you want to get an R sound that Americans are going to recognize all the time, you really want to be able to control this position. What it looks like is essentially that your tongue is going from a flat position to moving back. R. It really pulls back in my mouth. R. That's what we're going to be working on today. So, R. This is the unstressed R. What makes an R stressed? What makes an R unstressed? An unstressed R happens if a vowel sound is coming before R. A vowel sound. Such as in the word far, car. What's another good word? Apartment. I don't know, I'm in an apartment. R. That kind of R sound when we have a vowel before R. How about the words like water, brother, weather, That's again vowel plus an R. Good unstressed R sound. So to clearly pronounce this, you're going to need to practice it often, so listen closely because these tips that you're going to be getting right here today are really going to help you for later. Now, here's the common difficulty. As I mentioned, the tip of your tongue going up. The tip of your tongue going up and touching the ridge behind your teeth, that little bump back there. Touching that, making a r kind of sound. That is a habit that we're going to be working on changing here a little bit today. We'll discuss here 2 different ways that you can make the R sound because I want you to be able to play with both of these methods and just see what fits you better. See what you can work with a little easier. The first method involves the back of your tongue. The back of your tongue moving back. The second method is with the front of your tongue. The front of your tongue moving upwards. Those are the 2 different methods that we've got to consider here. So here are 3 different steps to making it with the back of your tongue. First, you want to settle your tongue in the bottom of your mouth. We're going to keep the tongue low to start this one out, kind of voicing the position like, ah. You see how my tongue's low? Ah, you can see right to the back of my mouth. At least on Instagram, they can see right to the back of my mouth. Ah. That's the first position. It's like what a dentist or a doctor would, tell you to do. The next thing is going to step this up a little bit. We are going to take it from that to bending it backwards. You want to kind of tense the back of your tongue, make it tense, and the corners of your tongue, the sides, you want to bring them right on up to the top teeth there. to get this. R, R, R. You see that? So that's step 1. Ah. Step 2. And also, step number 3, the jaw. Your jaw doesn't stay down there. When I say R, I can't talk like that. I can't talk with my jaw wide open. I need to bring it up, of course. R, R. That is how you make an R sound, by moving the back of your tongue, tensing it and moving it back. That's the first thing. Now, an important tip here is that the inside of your tongue must be pushing towards the roof of your mouth. This ensures that your tongue is really nice and bunched up and bending the sound in the right way. So I'm not having my tongue go like that, R. I'm not going, see, it's not going down. It's going, R, R, really tense and up there. That is the position you want to maintain. The back of the tongue, the front of the tongue, all of it's coming right up, nice and tight. If you feel that the tip of your tongue now is going and touching the roof of your mouth, that is a rolled R, as I mentioned. That's the habit that we're working to change here today, and you're more than capable of doing it. You just got to focus. So as I mentioned, however, if you don't like that way of making the American R, if it felt strange to you, then that's okay. There's another way to do it that might be a little bit easier for you, because all of our mouths developed in different ways. Our muscles are not all the same. Some people, their muscle memory is one, and other people, their muscle memory is a little bit different. And so you want to get the way that you can adjust your muscles to easier. Anyway, here's the second method of this R sound. So we're going to start with the same position. Ah, tongue low down in the mouth. Ah. The second thing now, we aren't going to move the back of the tongue, but rather the tip. And we're going to move it up. R, R. It's going up, but it's not touching the roof of my mouth. If the tip of the tongue goes up and touches the roof of the mouth, what's going to happen? We've discussed this. You're going to get a rolled R. You're going to get a R, R. And that is what we want to avoid, of course. We don't want R, R. We want R, R. Tip of the tongue going towards the hard palate, but not touching it. So step 1, tongue low. Step 2, the tip of the tongue goes towards the roof of the mouth, but not touching it, not quite touching it. And step number 3, same as the other one, your jaw comes up, comes right up with it. R, R. That's an American R sound. Now, many people just did that successfully. Most people probably did not. And I'm just saying that from experience. Most people do not get that right away. Trust me, I know how it is, and that's okay. What we're going to do is a quick little exercise that you can follow for the R sound to make sure that you're getting it right. The British R does not make that kind of position where we pull the tongue back and tense it, where we get that kind of position. The British R stays low in the mouth. Ah, ah. So, for example, the British do not say part, part. They rather say pot, pot. For example, it's part of a larger problem. It's part of we don't want that. We don't want that part of a. It's part of a larger problem. Part. We want to get that strong R. Another thing, the British do not say, that's a large mountain. They say that's a large mountain. So we don't want that large. No. We bend the tongue back there. Large. That's a large mountain. One other here is, it's not a potty. It's a party. I hear this far too often from people. We're going to the potty. We're going to the potty. People who speak English as a second language, I will hear this often. We're going to the potty. No, thank you. We will go to the party. The R. We're going to get that R in there. You are totally capable of doing it. Not to mention it's got a flap T right after it, doesn't it? That is a useful thing to keep in mind. I won't take too much more of your time here today. I'm going to give you a quick couple of phrases here that you can follow along with. We're going to stretch out this R sound. I'm going to give you some real short and basic phrases. And seriously, anybody who hears these and stretches these out and needs to work on that R position, these are really going to help build the muscle memory necessary. So first off, on my arm. R. On my arm. Remember, the tip of the tongue can go up, but not touch the roof of the mouth. You don't want the tip of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth. You don't want arm, but arm. Going up, but not touching. The car won't start. You hear that? The car won't start. How about play the guitar? Play the guitar at the market. Those will get you started. Those will get you started. I got one other thing I want to bring up here that is going to take this up a notch with your unstressed R. And this is one other habit, actually, that I notice many non-native English speakers do that people, again, are totally capable of changing if they want to. And this is the fact that I will notice people pronounce the words R, A-R-E, and R, O-U-R, differently. I'll hear people say R, like this is our friend. I'll hear people say our. This is our friend. Well, we don't want to say our. We say our. Our. We want to make sure that we get that real quick and that we don't stretch it out too much. The word our, spelt with an H, however, does receive the pronunciation our, and it should maintain that. So repeat these after me. Here's just 3 quick sentences here with a couple of R's that you can use for yourself, practice, and get a good feel for. The first one, those are ours. Tongue going back, R. Those are ours. Are ours. You got that? Another here, on our lunch hour. You want to feel the difference between our and our. On our lunch hour. And here's one more. When are our hours changing? When are our hours changing? You may be saying to yourself, Pat is saying those really stretching them out. You know, R. Yes, I am indeed. The reason for this is because I want you to practice as well, forcing that R position. Really getting a good feel for it, pushing it out hard and confidently. And, well, keeping up with that, you know, making that position again and again and again is going to render results in the long run. That's all I can say. Well, for today, this just about brings us to wrapping things up. I like to keep these episodes short and sweet. No need to draw it out, for too long. I don't want to waste anyone's time. We all got things to do, don't we? This has been my first podcast episode. It's that's recorded on Instagram Live. This is episode number 51. I've had a blast making episode 51 on live simply because it keeps me talking. When I don't do it this way, I take too many breaks. It takes too long. But I'm going to keep doing more episodes this way. Because then Jackie can send me a message and say, howdy. Howdy, Jackie. Howdy, by the way, for people who are listening and not viewing, howdy. What does that mean? You hear people say that. It's silly, but it's fun. Howdy's a way of saying hello. It's very friendly. It's kind of southern, but it's just a super friendly way to say hello. So if you want to play with some other words of saying hello, take my friend Jackie's advice and say howdy. Now, I just want to recap real quick what an unstressed R is exactly. When you're going to find an unstressed R compared to a stressed R. You see, an unstressed R. This is the R that we make after a vowel sound. Now, I mentioned that before, but I don't think I really got into detail with that enough. Let's take the R in my name, for example. Patrick. Patrick. This R is coming after a consonant. It's coming after the letter T. R. I'm not going Patrick. That sounds strange. Patrick. Yeah, that's an unstressed R. It doesn't fit in my name. So an unstressed R has a vowel sound before the R. A stressed R, I'll talk about another time. Don't even worry about stressed R's. An unstressed R is going to be, in the middle of a word, and it's going to be after a vowel sound. Anyway, I've got to wrap things up for today. Thank you for your time. Whenever you're listening to this, enjoy your breakfast, your dinner, your lunch. Enjoy your walk. If you're, maybe this is just playing, on a beach. Someone's just gotten their phone stolen or they lost it, and this is just playing on someone's phone as they're walking away from it. And that's too bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, have a good one.